This is Andy with QualityStocks. Today's Thursday, February 3rd, 2011. Today we're going to take a look at 3D Icon. This is a NASDAQ bulletin board stock trading under ticker TDCP. I scaled this into a 4-month chart. This was in a pretty long consolidation right through this area for several months. So I thought in order to get a closer look at this little flag pattern pennant that it has going on, that I'd scale it in. You see just a great move from here at a half a penny all the way up to nearly 3 cents. Consolidating since then. Bollinger Bands have tightened up, look like they're starting to try and gap a little bit. This chart's taken on a very bullish look, and just from a technical standpoint, those that follow our charts know that I look for things like these Bollinger Bands tightening up, all these moving averages coming together, good sign of a possible move, and sure enough, this one exploded, 5-bagger sort of move. And since it's done that, this chart's turned very bullish overall, trading over top of the 50 and 200-day moving averages. So I want to take a quick look at these lower indicators, see if they give us any hints of another possible break. See, we've got the histogram of the MACD trending back towards zero, about ready to get a bullish cross. Charts have to reset themselves at some point, and TDCP is no different. It's reset itself. In a perfect world, yeah, you like to see the uptrend continue, but when it makes that sort of a move, it's about impossible. It reaches real high levels. When it retraces, it's going to come back down. Now it's at more normal bullish levels. We're going to look for that bullish cross and some continuation now of the move. Of course, it's all going to tie in with the PPS support and resistance in the candles, which will all play important factors. PPO's in a pretty solid downtrend since the move, but again, given hints of possible bullish cross happening. ADX was in a very strong uptrend, also since has reset itself. What you want to see now is this turn and roll and break back through 30. Right now it's in a trading pattern. We want to see it break back through 30 to go back into a true trend. MFI is holding over 50 is bullish. You can see primarily it has been, especially the longer term, this gold line, the MFI 21. Holding over 50, now getting to 14, breaking back up through it. Pretty bullish look to the MFI. MFI, I'm going to look for this trend line to be broken. This is in a pretty good downtrend as well. You can see the channel right through there on the lower side of it. This needs to start to break up, stop making lower lows, start to make some higher highs, show some good buying pressure coming back into this stock. Kind of reiterated by the shaken money flow, which shows you that selling pressure has been dominant. We want to see that break back through zero and let buying pressure take over again. CCI right at that point of trying to give a buy signal, riding right there around 100. A little bit of a mixed look to it, trending back towards that 100, but the buy signal is when it breaks through it. You can see it's having a tough time moving above that level, so you want to see that happen. Full Stowe's holding over 50, which is bullish. If this can break out of that pennant that it's in up in the candles, we'll touch on here in a second. You need to see this break through 80. Always hold over 50 to maintain bullishness, but break through 80 to show some real strength. Tricks got to exaggerated levels up here around 5. Over 5 is pretty high in a pretty solid downtrend. Again, we're going to look for that cross. What you really want to see it do is hold over zero and make another bullish cross. It's a good long-term, exponentially smooth indicator. RSIs, much like the Full Stowe and some of the other indicators, you want to see it holding to the upper side of the indicator. And it is, especially the long terms, 14 and 21, those red and gold lines, holding over 50. The chart's still bullish, but it's kind of getting to a make or break point. You can see it's having a harder time moving up above 70 to get into what momentum traders will call the power zone, show some real strong momentum. See it's struggling with pushing into that. And that's all kind of tied into these candles. Now, because I scaled this into a 4-month chart, it drug this pennant out a little bit longer. Of course, depending on how you format it, how long it is, it'll crunch that pennant up more, or you can stretch it out. Right now, it's stretched out pretty far. But the important thing is this chart is about at that point where it needs to try and make a decision. See that upper trend line to it? You can see that lower trend line coming through here. Like I mentioned, holding over top all the moving averages is bullish. The Bollinger Bands are tightening up, and now they look like they're going to try and gap apart. So we're going to keep an eye on this for a larger move and see if it can break through this 022, 023 area and stop making lower highs. So now we're going to pay attention to it and see if it's going to be able to break through this 022, 023 area and ultimately this 028. And break out of this pennant that it's in. Again, indicators are kind of leaning towards the bullish side. The move may be up, so it's definitely worth the radar. Interesting to note, I'll post a static chart with this as well. If you take a look at the weekly charts, this area does tie back into a historic resistance level, right around 2.5 cents. Just reiterating how important it is for it to break through this if it's going to continue its move to the north side. We saw volume pick up a little bit yesterday, 5.6 million shares traded. That's plenty of liquidity. There's varying support levels throughout this. Ultimately, I want to see it hold that trend line, and I'd like to see it hold this 2-cent area. You can see it was a little bit of resistance. It kind of punched its way through a little bit, dipped back down, a little bit of resistance, a little bit of support. I'd like to see it hold that 2 cents. Most importantly, that keeps a close stop loss. I'd like to see it hold over that 10-day moving average as well, which is the pink line in there. But just trading within this wedge right here is what's important to me. Holding it, and I want to see it take out the top, and I want to see it take out 2-3 on its way to try and take out this old top and make a new high. And as I said, have it tie back into breaking through that old resistance from back a couple of years ago of 2.5 cents. All in all, though, TDCP is still looking very bullish. Let's look for volume. Let's look for some resistance levels and trend lines to be broken and see where that leads. As always, this is merely my interpretation of the 3D icon chart. This is Andy with QualityStocks. Thank you for watching and trade smart.